Good afternoon here. How are you guys this afternoon? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about something that I absolutely love, and that is using negative things or bad things or things that seem terrible in your favor, and it's called the law of polarity. It's kind of like a magnet. You can try to. There's always an opposite to every magnet. If you've noticed, if you take one end of the magnet and you flip it around and you try to put it on the other end, it doesn't work. They push apart. It pushes. And so it's called the law of polarity. And it comes from Newton's third law of motion, as if for every action, there must be an equal and opposite reaction. So I want to talk a little bit about that from a business standpoint. And people get so bent out of shape. Oh, the economy is going down. It is such a terrible time to be in business. Whatever. People make all kinds of excuses. But more wealthy people are made, or wealthy people love when the economy goes down. They love when the economy goes up. It doesn't matter what happens, is that they always know how to play the game. When the economy is going down, they're playing the opposite side of the polarity game. And you can see a really good example of this is that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and some of those guys, they became incredibly, their net worth went up significantly during COVID. So I think that in business that we have to have the mindset that we look at the negative things in our life and we say, okay, how can we turn this around? How can we use this to our benefit? Because business owners look at a negative situation and they say, hey, this is a great time to expand, and this is why. Because they know that to every side of a coin, there's an opposite side to it. So I kind of look at it like this. If you look at a quarter, for example, one side, it doesn't matter what you do. You can scratch up the one side, you can paint it, it doesn't matter how bad it looks. If you flip it over, it's got something different going on the other side. And so it is in negative things in life. And the fact of the matter is, I've noticed something in life. It's that people who are very successful often have come through great difficulties. They've had struggles, they've had difficulties in their life, and they've gone through things. I know that I've gone through things, and I know that if it wasn't for the many difficult things I've gone through, I'm sure that I would not be as successful as I am today. I don't really think that I'm uber successful. Maybe because I haven't had enough difficulty. Not that I want to go through hardships or anything, but the fact of the matter is that when we fail, when we do something, it's kind of like this. There's a book that was written, it's called Go for No. An excellent read, by the way. If you get a chance, definitely listen to it, read it, whatever. And so in there he states how that your ability to get no's in business is going to be a direct ratio to how successful you're going to be in life. So, for example, in a sales situation, if I go out and I talk to 100 people and I, ask them if they wanted for me to do their roof, and let's say 99 out of 100 say no. Now, I had 99 no's and 1 success. But, that's a terrible ratio, but neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, the faster that I can fail, the faster that I can get negative things in, the faster. A no, that's not positive. But the fact of the matter is, when we as business owners, we need to look at that and we need to flip the script and say that's a positive thing when somebody says no. Because guess what? I now have the chance to get closer to the one person who will say yes. And I think it's the same way in our own life and in our business. It's like when we see the economy going down, and I know that right now people are people are freaking out about the economy, but I don't really, I see it happening for people, but quite frankly, it certainly isn't happening in my business. And I think that's because we have to look at the negative things and we have to play with that and say, how can we use this? How can we leverage this and serve our customers better? How can we provide a need that isn't there? When the economy is going down, it's just a symbol of the fact that there's needs that are not being met in the marketplace. Now, all we have to do is figure out how to provide those needs to our customers, and hey, they're going to come to us. So for every negative thing, there's a positive side. But for every positive side, there's also a negative side. So not only is it a something that when we are down, that we need to say, wait a minute, there's a positive side to this. But there's also the thing where if something is going really well and like things are really booming, we also should be cautious and say, what's negative? What's on the negative side? Like, what could happen? And so one of those instances was, one time we did this project, and great clients of ours, and still friends to them with this day, and still do stuff for them. But anyway, so they called me and they're like, hey, do you want to do this roof? And we're like, absolutely, we'd love to do this roof. It was a very big roof, very big project, very, very profitable project. But the problem is that there was also a lot of negativity that came along with that. So there was a lot of risk that comes along with opportunity. And so what I really want to encourage you is mostly is the fact that when negative things happen in your life, they happen to you to make you a stronger person. People that never go through difficulty do not get strong. It is the people who have faced difficulties and pushed through those are the people that become successful in the long term. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And if you look at a lot of people from the Bible, if you look at it from we can look at some heroes in the Bible, and David is my favorite hero in the Bible. And he was called a man after God's own heart, and he had incredible amount of difficulty. He had a incredible amount of Saul kept running after him, was trying to kill him, and not for anything that he did wrong, but simply because God had blessed him so much, and that he knew that he was going to get the kingdom. And so he went through so much difficulty. He went through so much struggle and difficulties, but he pushed through that, and he was a man after God's own heart. His heart was so much to please God. And I think that if you look at Abraham left his father's house. Like, he left the land where he was born. He left his family. He left his relatives. And he had to leave. Sometimes we have to leave our comfort zone. We have to leave an area that is comfortable to us. We have to be willing to face those hard things. We have to be willing to do negative things. We have to be willing to step out of things that are comfortable now so that we can become strong for what God has for us in the future. Abraham would have never had the promise that he has if it wouldn't have been for the fact that he was willing to step out from where he was. He had no children, yet God promised that there was going to be a great nation that comes from him. And as many children, more children than you can count the stars. And that was a huge blessing. And Abraham believed, and he left his father's land. He went out, and God blessed him exceptionally. And if you look at, there was David, there was Abraham. If you look at, let's say, I don't know, there's many different instances. Job, for example. Now, Job went through incredible trials, but for so long, people have been blessed by listening or reading the story of Job and what he went through and the difficulties he went through. But see, when he came through that, God blessed him even more than what he had before. So I think that we have to recognize that failure or negative things, that's a part of life. It's the law of polarity. There's always going to be negative things happening to us, but our ability to take those things and turn those around and create something positive out of that is going to be the differentiator as a leader. So anyway, guys, it's just something I'm so excited about. I was listening to I'm embarrassed to say I'm not even sure who it was that I was listening to. I think it was Craig Groeschel. And the fact is that for every action, there must also be an opposite reaction. So guys, I encourage you, if there's something negative in your life, look at it and say, what positive thing can I come out of that? And then if you think something is going really well, and saying, you know what? How can I protect myself from something negative on the backside of this also? So both being aware of something negative could happen, but also knowing that the negative things is just the opposite of what really could happen if we just look for it. So with that, I hope you guys have an incredible day. Thanks for listening.